Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz have strongly rejected explosive claims published by the Haaretz newspaper. The article alleges that Israeli soldiers were ordered to shoot unarmed Palestinian civilians waiting for humanitarian aid in Gaza, calling the report contemptible libel. Netanyahu and Katz dismissed the accusation as outright lies. They defended the Israeli military, describing the IDF as the most moral army in the world, operating under strict orders to avoid harming civilians. They emphasized that the IDF faces complex challenges while fighting Hamas, a group they accuse of using civilians as human shields and manipulating narratives to undermine Israel's legitimacy. The Israeli leadership urged democratic nations around the world to stand by Israel in what they described as a moral fight against the Hamas terror organization. The controversy comes amid growing global criticism of Israel's military operations in Gaza, especially after reports of civilian casualties near aid distribution zones. Israel maintains it does not target innocents and that its soldiers act under clear ethical protocols. The government insists the IDF's actions are unlawful and defensive, targeting a terrorist group embedded in densely populated civilian areas. Now we have guests joining us back at this discussion, Ali M. Abushbak. He's a Middle East affairs researcher. Thank you, Ali, for staying with us throughout. From where you stand now in the Middle East, in Egypt, does the local mood or media feel anywhere near a truce about Gaza's situation, or is the violence likely to get worse before diplomacy has a real chance? How's the atmosphere like now?
Usuma, but let me mention that investigating report that published in Haaretz about the GHF, it's turned the table upside down. Also it's making the situation more miserable, especially the fact it's Israel targeting the civilians who come to collect and to collect the humanitarian aid and to collect some supplies, make it the situation more worse. And yesterday also Israel targeting a school has been taking a shelter from the displacement people who forcefully displaced their area because of the Israeli bombardment and destruction in their area. So also the humanitarian situation in Gaza, it's totally miserable and it's totally dire. Osuma, the people are suffering a lot, and there is a lack of supplies. Israel find any excuses to kill civilians, any excuses to kill people who's innocent and unarmed people. Unfortunately, the atmosphere in Gaza, it's pessimistic about reaching out toward the ceasefire, but also last week, one of the mediator, Bashar Bahbah, who was, he's aligned with the negotiation and aligned with the talk between America, because he's a Palestinian American, between America and Israel as well as Hamas. He advertised that there is a good news could be happen very soon. I guess both of sides, Gaza and Israel, got tired from this countless and from this endless war without purpose. Israeli community, they are last week when the 7 of Israeli soldier has been killed during the fight with Hamas, they protest, and there are several of Israeli politicians also they are chanting about what's the purpose of this war. Also when it will end, despite there is no any clear aims for this war. Also several of people, they are protesting about again sending their beloved to the war in Gaza without any aims, without any purpose. So
Ali,
from the Israeli side, from Palestine, on the other hand, the Palestinian side also got tired from this war. Daily there is a bloodshed, daily there is a displacement, daily there is some people starving to death, daily there is some people injured. The situation is behind the imagination. What we have witnessed and what we have seen from the footage and from social media, it's nothing. I called one of the Palestinian from Gaza yesterday, and he described the situation. He said, whatever you have witnessed and whatever you are seeing on media, it's nothing. It's a zero comparing what we are witness daily, because there is a fear, there is a trauma, there is a several of many things that international media, they didn't cover it during 12 days of war.
Ali,
Also, this
Sorry, I
GHF.
will have to cut you off there. Thank you very much for sharing that insight and staying with us throughout all the news from the Middle East. Now we have to move on to our next story. The American Jewish Committee, or the AJC, has expressed deep concern over recent attacks by Israel in the West Bank, condemning the violence and unauthorized entry into Palestinian territory. In a statement released this week, the AJC called Israelis the actions clearly illegal and described them as a blatant betrayal of Jewish values. The organization urged both political and religious leaders to unequivocally denounce these offenses and demanding that those responsible be held fully accountable. The attacks come amid growing concern over escalating tensions in the West Bank, where violence has been on the rise in recent months. The AJC's strong words underscored the mounting pressure on Israeli authorities.